bro, shoot flames. What's going on, guys? I know it's been a while. Same old me, still sweating in the garage doing things I love. So big thanks to all my 313 followers that love to follow my channel. I appreciate them. And all those new followers that are going to be following my channel, I appreciate you too. So don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. So for today, well, actually, let's start with what we left off. I had the engine in the car. I just had to button up some stuff, the bumper, this, that, and the other, and take it for a drive. I did. Ran pretty smooth, no issues. A bit of tuning issues, air, fuel, and all that stuff. That's minor adjustments. I drove it about 200 kilometers now, and I'm going to be just changing out my oil filter and putting in a new filter just to get rid of all the contaminants that might have been in the assembly that were caught up with the filter. I'll put a new filter and I'll drive it on for another 500 kilometers before I most likely put in my synthetic oil. For those that don't remember, I put the Lucas break-in engine oil. I'll show you what that is in a second, if I can find it. Okay, so this is what we've been running for quite a couple of kilometers now, and I'll be running it again after I change my filter. I'm going to keep the same oil, just change the filter like I just mentioned, and we'll go from there. So that's one thing that I'd like to do today. The main thing that I'd like to do today is put an oil cooler. I've gone ahead and I've put my AN fittings -10 already on the hose, because for those that know, it's a real pain in the butt to do. So I didn't want to waste your time. We took care of that earlier. Also, I picked up a Evil Energy radiator for this setup, which is like this. If I recall, it's a 16 row cooler. So we're gonna have to try and figure out something how to install that on the car. And the main ingredient, which will give us access to all this, is a sandwich plate. So for all you car enthusiasts that know about it, and for those that don't, I'll explain it to you. I ended up getting a Mocal sandwich plate, which is I think from the UK. So you get rid of the cooler, or you can keep your existing OEM cooler and add this or replace it with this. So follow me and I'll show you guys in a second. So this is the OEM motor that I have here. So you take out this here, which holds on the OEM cooler, and you sandwich this into the setup. Or you replace it by just taking it out and putting this in by itself. So that's your discretion. You guys can do what you want. I am going to be leaving it and adding this to the setup. Sorry, I'm using my phone today because I didn't have my GoPro and all that stuff handy. So these are 2 bolts that come with it. So this is if you're adding it with the existing, or if you're removing the existing and just putting it alone, they give you this threaded pipe here. So back to the Mocal. This one here has a thermostat, I guess you could say. Yeah, it's a thermostat. So at 180 degrees, it activates and it opens and it allows the oil to flow in and out through the radiator. Prior to that, it does not open, so that your engine can warm up properly. And when you're ready to give it the beans, it's ready to go, because your temperature is going to be perfectly where you want it to be. So that's that. Now, like I said, the AN lines are all prepped. A real pain in the butt to do. And that's pretty much it. So without further ado, let's get to the place where we want to be, and hopefully where we can get everything done like I want to. So stay tuned. So we're at my buddy's place here, Luciano. Louis V in the house. So he was kind enough to let me use his lift to do my oil filter. Went ahead and I swapped that out. Let me see if I can back up the camera. Okay, so I've put the oil filter, like I said, here, boom, the Bosch one, which is on the SP Turbo oil filter housing. I've got the Mocal sandwich plate installed. As I mentioned, I ended up keeping the original cooler in the back there. They come with -10 fittings. So as I showed you guys earlier, I had all the tubing already prepped. It was a bit too long in my opinion, but I can always modify that later just because I'm in a bit of a rush today. I zip tied it here and there. This bracket here is for my skid plate. The oil cooler, I ended up putting it here. Let's see if I can get a nice clear shot. So I have riv nuts, which are, you gotta drill out the hole that's necessary, pop in the riv nut and compress it so it stays in place, and you can use the thread that you like for the bolt that you like. So I ended up putting it here. I test fit it with the wheel. It does not touch. It's not the ideal spot for me to have chosen for my cooler, but I'm a little tight on my schedule, so I ended up putting it here. Worst case scenario in the future, we can always do something with the front end of the car. Got a bit of a stuttering issue today. So that's that. So the oil is the same. I got give you guys a little tour. My dog bone, my O2 J5 speed transmission that has a WaveTrack LSD inside, a 3-inch exhaust, custom, straight all the way to the back, which is a MagnaFlow muffler with the dual tip in the back. Like to keep it sleeper looking, OEM plus, I guess you can say. And that's that. So I'm gonna bring the car down. We're gonna top off the oil. The oil cooler states, the radiator, yeah, says that you need approximately 400 mLs of additional oil. So the VR usually is about a 5.8, 5.9. I usually put 6, so I'll put like a 6.3 just to be on the safe side. So let's bring her down and top it off with oil. Okay, let's check for any oil leaks. Give it a go when you're ready. How much? You said 65? Okay. Okay, perfect. So oil pressure seems to be okay. There's no leak so far. Now the sandwich plate needs 180 degrees Fahrenheit for it to open up to allow circulation. So we're gonna let it warm up to about 180 degrees and see if there's any leaks. Give it some shots. Not too fast. Yeah, these are warm. So I think it's going through, which means we have the oil leak. Which is a plus. Fans are on. Cool. Whew, it's hot in here. Okay, so we're gonna check the oil. I'll probably need 2 hands for that. Let's check for any leaks under the car. Doesn't seem to have any leaks. Okay, so it all looks pretty decent. We're gonna check the oil this morning. It's been sitting overnight just to make sure our oil is topped off. Car's topped off with oil. It's all good. We're still gonna continue the break-in process. Like I said, I'm about at 200 kilometers now. We are going to be going to a car meet this weekend, my buddies and I, at a airport. I think it's an abandoned airport where somebody decided to host a car show. Well, car event, meetup, I guess you can say. So we'll be going there. I'll try and get you guys some nice pictures. Going back to the whole reason why I ended up putting the oil cooler, because my new build is all brand new stuff, so I did follow specs within the clearances for bearings, the rings. I did follow what the piston company recommended, which is the JE pistons, the lower compression. So I ended up following that. If I recall correctly, I think I had a 21 thou for the top ring, and I think I put a 23 thou for the bottom ring. I'll double check that. Worst cases, I'll correct it in the description. The main bearings, I ended up going with 15 thousandths. It is technically within spec from Volkswagen. People would have aimed more for the 20 thousandths to have that bit more of a gap. But because I'm on the tighter end of the gaps on the clearances and the tolerances, my oil does tend to run hotter, unfortunately. So I was seeing about 220 degrees Fahrenheit with just mild driving. So I ended up going with an oil cooler so I could put my 5W40 and not have to worry about it overheating, because right now I'm on the SAE 30, which is the break-in oil, and I'm already seeing a bit of hot temperatures because of my tolerances. So the oil cooler will help with that. I don't see any issues with that. Just maybe the location of it right now, like I said, it wasn't the best spot, but it's a project. I mean, for now, like I was really tight on time. I ended up just putting it there just so we can get it over with and I can get out of my buddy's place so he can close up his shop for the day. But I'm very satisfied, honestly. First shot, the AN fittings, no leaking. The oil cooler, the Mocal plate, sandwich plate is not leaking, and the radiator itself is not leaking. So far, so good. The rating is 130 PSI, I think, on that radiator. It's the Evil Energy on Amazon. I guess it's the best bang for the buck. I didn't really feel like spending so much money with the Mishimoto, so we went with that one. And so that's going to be today's video, guys. Again, I apologize for the long delay within the videos, but hopefully we'll get some new videos in the near future. We'll be going to a car meet, and I'll try and post some videos with that. Stay tuned, guys. I'm Johnny. This is the VR6 build.